my dear children, myself Mr. Pranay Vidyut, who is before you to share a small secret. Anyways, I'm here representing Masterminds Educational Institutions. And as I told, I'm going to share a small secret. What's that? Anyways, before that, are you a bit tensed? Of course, yes, because tomorrow is your advanced accounting examination. But no worries, I'm here to make you a bit tense free. So I'm here with a secret which is advanced accounting day before examination strategy. This is that secret. On coming to this subject, we have actually made the entire subject into three parts in an order from most important to least important. Of course, it doesn't mean that from least important chapters he is not going to test at all. There's nothing like that. He might test, but comparatively least important must be given. Anyways, you might ask me, sir, ICAI had already released the weightage. So why are you again here sharing this? And what is the secret in this? Yes. And the point is all about ICAI had given a weightage document wherein it is given that from all the accounting standards, it's going to test 55 to 65% marks. But on a whole, you're having 27 standards at a stretch. So now, which standards ought to be given more important? Which standards ought to be given less important? All those things. We being the team of masterminds had a small research and the secret is before you. And these are the first preference chapters: preparation of financial statements, investment accounts, buyback of securities, amalgamation, consolidation, and coming to accounting standards framework is 10, 16, 19, 26. Coming to the first chapter, preparation of financial statements, very simple, just format based, but be careful with that and be careful with dividend computations because he is going to test the same for 5 marks. And the next is investment accounts, which is a blend of standard and problematic. Be careful, he might even test from an accounting standard where the question might cater a minimum of 5 marks and a maximum of 7 marks. And next, buyback of securities, a very simple 3 tests makes mandatory to answer in that chapter. And coming to the next chapter, amalgamation, be careful with purchase consideration. If you have done purchase consideration properly and the problem is actually done. And the next, consolidation, many of the people will not give importance for consolidated P&L account, but it's highly recommended to every student, even give equal priority and equal importance to consolidated P&L account in addition with the consolidated balance sheet. And if you're mastermind students, you can be happily relieved and just lay on our material because even consolidated P&L account, we have actually added 4 problems. But if you're actually preparing it from institute material, small bad luck to you because there's only 1 problem and 1 from past examination problems. Be careful. And next, coming to framework, this is going to become a more important chapter because right from 2016 syllabus, he is being testing at least 1 question in the examination. So highly recommended to go with the chapter framework. And next are accounting standard number 10, which is an exhaustive standard. You have to prepare it totally. And even AS 26, you have to prepare totally. And now coming to accounting standard number 19, sale and leaseback. Be careful with that concept in AS 19. And then importance is for finance lease and then of course operating lease. Now coming to the dangerous standard, accounting standard number 16. Provisions of this standard are super duper easy. But application of this standard is the toughest ever. You know, every time whenever he is testing a question from accounting standard number 16, it's a bouncer to each and every student. It is nearly impossible, especially to an average student, to answer the question from accounting standard number 16. So be careful. At least thorough with the provision so that at least you can solve half of that problem. So be careful with accounting standard number 16. And anyways, these are the first preference chapters. Now moving on to the second preference chapters, internal reconstruction is 2, 7, 9, 12, 15, 20, 25, 28, 29. And if you observe all the newly added chapters like 15, 25, 28, we have kept it under second preference. Reason being, why not under first preference? Because these chapters are comparatively carrying less problems, but with more provisions, of course. And since in the first examination this was not tested, we are here to recommend you to give moderate importance at least to these chapters because till now, a single question is also not being posed from the examination. So rather than concentrating on the provisions, first of all, be sure with all the problematic, especially which are given in institute material with respect to these 3 standards. What's your opinion? Is institute is going to test from these newly added standards or not? Make a comment here. And anyways, let's come back. Accounting standard number 2, internal reconstruction. Coming to internal reconstruction, it's highly recommended to give equal importance even to share surrendered also because students are not preparing properly with respect to share surrendered. And coming to standards is 2, be careful with computation of cost price because Inventory must be valued at cost or NRV, whichever is lower, and you must be very careful with computation of cost price. And A7, construction contracts, and it's highly recommended with respect to construction contracts. Likewise, prepare contract account for all the 3 years and find the profit or loss individually for each and every 3 years. So such kind of problems are becoming very important. So it's highly recommended to go even with those problems. And coming to the next standard, accounting standard number 9, be careful with sale of goods, and then of course to the remaining things. On accounting standard number 12, only 2 things. Number 1, receipt of grant, and number 2, refund of grant. And as I said already, 15, 25, 28 newly added. Even in the last attempt, that's like May 2024, no new question was tested. But this time there are comparatively a bit high chances for testing a question. You might ask me, sir, if there are comparatively high chances of testing a question, why did you keep in the second preference? Reason being, we don't want you to be thorough with each and every provision of these topics, but at least you have to be thorough with institute material problematics at the first instance, and hence we have kept it under second preference. Like, be careful with problems first, and then you can go with provisions. And coming to AS20, be careful with computation of veins, and also be careful with rights issue, and also be careful with dilutive EPS, and then the remaining things. And now coming to accounting standard number 29, as simple as such, like provisions, contingent assets and contingent liabilities, where we will ask you to prepare on a wholesome basis. And the next third preference is for cash flow statement, accounting for independent branches. And coming to accounting standards, introduction to standards on AS1, 11, 17, 18, 22 and 24. Coming to cash flow statements, first give your prior importance to indirect method, and of course then direct method. And coming to indirect method, be careful with cash flows from operating activities. And also there are quite a good number of chances to ask even a 5 marks question from cash flow, prepare cash flows from investing activities or financing activities, operating activities. Like that, he might dissect the question and he might give you. And the next is accounting for independent branches. Majority of the students area is to take a choice in this chapter. Of course, not recommended, but anyways, if you have already taken a choice, then it's recommended at least to prepare inter-branch transactions, journal entries and foreign branches. And next is introduction to accounting standards, pure theory, be careful. And AS1, prepare exhaustively. AS11, first preference must be given for foreign currency transactions, and then for foreign currency operations and forward exchange contracts. AS17, 5 tests are very important: segment assets test, revenue test, profit test, management discretion and overall revenue test. That will be dictating the entire standard. And coming to accounting standard number 18, related party transactions, prepare on an exhaustive way. Be careful because this is most dangerous application oriented standard, and also you might get questions from disclosures. And even AS22, one of the toughest standards many of the students feel, where you must be enough commandable even in the subject of law in order to answer this standard properly. Be careful with this standard. Even though it's important, many of the students will be taking even this area as choice and hence kept under third preference. And last but not least, accounting standard number 24, a pure theory standard. Be careful. And this is what our preparation strategy for advanced accounting day before examination. And my dear children, if you're basically a mastermind students, then there's a good news for you. Please be sure with all the guest questions. Because there are quite a number of good chances and pretty good chances for guest questions to get covered in the main examination. Of course, we are not telling that guest questions will be as it is tested, but with the knowledge of guest questions, you can comfortably, happily write your examination to the exemption level at least for. And also be sure with your revision examination and pre-final question papers, because there are quite a good number of chances even to ask questions. Even these things will get covered in the examination. And my dear children, last but not least, after the completion of advanced accounting, be careful, come back to our channel. Please do watch the next subject, that is like law, day before examination preparation strategy, and then catch your preparation. Last but not least, thank you for sparing your time. All the best, and please do like, share, comment and subscribe our channel. And may the Almighty bless you, and may all the positivity should be with you, and at any cost you have to clear in this attempt. All the best.